Hello everyone, welcome to TLDR, our new segment where we discuss trending topics in 5 minutes. If you would like to see us discuss any of these topics in our main podcast IMO, you can always leave it in the comments below. Let's put 5 minutes on the clock and get into it. Our first topic is Singapore's Miss Universe contender makes her mark with a bold "Stop Asian Hate" statement. Okay, so if you're those of you that don't know, Miss Bernadette Bell Ong, if I get her name right, yes, Miss Bernadette Bell Ong was our representative for Miss Universe at the pageant. She wore a red bikini with high boots and a long cape in Singapore's red and white with the words "Stop Asian Hate." Personally, I feel that this is a super important piece of messaging because, especially with the whole COVID-19 situation, there has been a lot of Asian hate that's being experienced around the world. Especially, recently there was that particular incident whereby this Singaporean guy was stabbed or attacked on live stream, on someone else's live stream in London. And there was also those scary incidents of people being punched on the street in the US. And even in Singapore, we have Asians perpetrating Asian hate and xenophobia by kicking like the Indian lady while she was exercising and stuff like that. This is something that I firmly believe that we need to stop. In a time of pandemic where fear is everywhere, we cannot give in to fear and let it result in hate. Because when we do that, we devolve to our baser instincts and we end up not being people. And in order for us to win this pandemic, we need to come together as people. Next headline, okay, Facebook, Twitter, and Hardware Zone Forum complies with POFMA directive over Singapore variant claims. Basically, what happened in this piece of news is trying to say that there are discussion places and forums right on the internet on Facebook, Twitter, and Hardware Zone, which are popular in Singapore, which led the news that the Chief Minister in Delhi mentioned about how there's a Singapore strain of the virus. Yeah, let it flew basically and gain life of its own on some of these popular forums in Singapore. The variant, which I don't want to get wrong, B16172 COVID variant, which was cited by the Chief Minister in Delhi, is not true that it's a Singapore variant. And that's why POFMA has stepped in to try to deal with this. In fact, Health Minister Ong Ye Kung has come in to say many, many times about these kind of statements. And I think he is working with the POFMA office to try to take these kind of things down because it is extremely detrimental to people on the street. So if you see these articles and see about the Singapore variant, it's not true. All right, next one. Singapore man runs 1 kilometer to return $2 note to migrant worker who dropped it while cycling. I believe this is another piece of news that has made its rounds on TikTok. Yeah, and people have been loving the person who went the extra mile to return this note. I think this is a very good sign of hope and happiness in Singapore. The goodness in people definitely still exists. But it's funny that out of every few news articles, every two news articles, one good one comes out. Let's try to increase that number, yeah. But basically, the story is very straightforward. Someone saw a foreign worker, drop the $2 note. He picked it up and chased this foreign worker who was on the bicycle, chased him down and returned the note. And this is an act of graciousness that I can safely say not many of us will be able or willing to do. So kudos to whoever this is. Next, SPH CEO Ng Yat Chung apologizes after taking, quote, umbrage at journalists' question. He said, I quote, I had stood up for SPH Media's long-cherished editorial integrity and will continue to do so. Being a direct and blunt-speaking person, I apologize for any offense I may have caused and regret any distractions from the merits of the proposed restructuring. So basically what he's trying to say here is that he apologizes for taking umbrage. But at the same time, I feel that, as much as you apologize, we would like to accept that, but as much as what's being said, you cannot be unsaid, and the damage is already done. I feel that someone in a senior position in the journalism industry, if they say something like that, it may actually deter some of the young people from asking the right questions at press conferences, because journalists should not and do not deserve to be attacked or pressured, using authority or aggression, especially in a press release where a press conference where they're supposed to ask questions that potentially may make people uncomfortable, especially when it's centered around an uncomfortable topic. So I don't claim to understand the entire circumstance or to be able to serve better than a CEO who has better understanding. Just as a layman, just as someone who's watching the piece of news, it is truly unfortunate. We shouldn't be bringing this kind of very authoritarian aggression into press conferences, because that's not how genuine journalism should be done, And yeah, let's all do better for that. That's it for this week's TLDR. If you've got any more news that you would like to submit, you can always tell us more in our comments, tell us more in Telegram. And yeah, we would love to see more contributions. Anything else we would leave in the description box. And if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram. And yes, we'd love to engage with you all. And if you'd like us to continue to do these TLDR segments for every week, every other week, what kind of time frame would be good, and whether this segment is even good in the first place, we welcome your feedback, and you can always tell us in the comments below. See ya.